So the media has recently woken up to its complicity in the genocide in Gaza. And so has Keir Starmer, it seems. He's given Israel a pretty weak and pretty gutless ultimatum to. It's a string of things he'll lay out in a minute. We'll play the clip. Although I cannot stand watching Starmer. This is why I don't really watch him because I find him repulsive. But is Israel going to play ball? Is Starmer going to recognize Palestine? Well, let's get into the clip and hear him outline the plan.
On the 7th of October 2023, Hamas perpetrated the worst massacre in Israel's history. Every day since then, the horror has continued. The hostages are still being held today. The Palestinian people have endured.
Are they? Is there any evidence of that? That any of them have not been killed by Israel? Like, there's not going to be many left if there is.
Terrible suffering. Now, in Gaza, because of a catastrophic failure of aid, we see starving babies, children too weak to stand, images that will stay with us for a lifetime.
You've been Prime Minister for over a year now. This has been happening for well over a year. Well, not the starvation, but the genocide, the slaughter, the stopping of aid getting in, the massacres. But okay, so now that it's all over the media and the famine and the skeletal babies, we have to do something now. Like, my hand has been forced. Does really anyone buy this? Like, this will be a stain on Starmer. I mean, Starmer is not doing very well. He's a cardboard box of a man, boring, lackluster, no vision. Like, he has nothing. But really, and is he really going to recognize Palestine? Because Israel isn't going to do this, are they? Really, he thinks Israel are going to bend the knee to Starmer?
Suffering must end. Yesterday, I discussed this with President Trump, and we're mounting a major effort to get humanitarian supplies back in by air. And UK aid has been airdropped into Gaza today, and crucially, by land. We need to see at least 500 trucks entering Gaza every day. But ultimately,
how fucked is this? That literally waiting to literally the point where there's a famine, like an impending famine, even a famine happening right now, and it's like, okay, we'll put pressure on Israel to stop doing the genocide, and it's insane. Like, people will look back at this in history, 10, 20, 50 years time, and we go, what the fuck was Starmer doing? Like, what were we doing? Like, it's insane.
The only way to bring this humanitarian crisis to an end is through a long-term settlement. So we are supporting the US, Egyptian and Qatari efforts to secure a vital ceasefire. That ceasefire must be sustainable, and it must lead to a wider peace plan, which we're developing with our international partners. This plan will deliver security and proper governance in Gaza.
Why would Israel even adhere to that? We're still arming them. Like, as long as they've got the means to bomb them, stop them, like, there needs to be intervention, surely. Like, this shouldn't be allowed to happen. Like, why? Obviously, why now? Obviously, the media's turned. Like, Israel is a pariah state, like, deeply unpopular across the planet. But does really Keir Starmer think he's like strong here? He's being strong. Like, Trump has given him like training tips to be strong. Like, you got to be strong. You got to lower immigration, lower taxes. It's like pathetic.
And pave the way for negotiations on a two-state solution. Our goal remains a safe.
Is that likely to happen though? Like, I think that is probably a good idea, But is that going to happen today, realistically? Unless there's outside intervention, like some international law, like America and the UK really need to be pushing them.
And secure Israel alongside a viable and sovereign Palestinian state. But right now, that goal is under pressure like never before. I've always said that we will recognise a Palestinian state as a contribution to a proper peace process at the moment of maximum impact for the two-state solution.
I've always said, has he? This is the first I've heard of it.
With that solution now under threat, this is the moment to act. So today, as part of this process towards peace, I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza.
He looks terrified when he says this. Like, he looks really like, I mean, that's him. He always looks like, he's a cat in the headlights of a car, an oncoming car. But he looks terrified. Like, because he probably thinks that, oh, for fuck's sake, they're not going to do it, are they? And we'll have to. Will he do it? That I can't see it, honestly. Like, what would that mean in practice? Like, would that mean actually helping them rebuild? Like, would the relationship would be with Gaza if we recognize them as the state? That would be interesting. But is he going to do it?
To a ceasefire and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution. And this includes allowing the UN to restart the supply of aid and making clear that there will be no annexations in the West Bank. Meanwhile, our message to the terrorists of Hamas is unchanged and unequivocal. They must immediately release all of the hostages, sign up to a ceasefire.
But is there any left? Like, realistically, is there any left? Like,
Disarm and accept that they will play no part in the government of Gaza. And we'll make an assessment in September on.
Is that likely to happen? Like, is Israel going to agree to the terms? Like, because both sides, they're not agreeing. Like, would Hamas agree to that? I think that's unlikely too. Like, so what's going to happen next? Because Keir Starmer thinks he's being strong. He seems scared. But, like, who's going to listen to Keir Starmer? Really?
How far the parties have met these steps. But no one should have a veto over our decision. So this is the way forward. We will keep working with all our international partners to end the suffering, get aid flooding into Gaza, and deliver a more stable future for the Middle East. Because I know that is what the British people desperately want to see. Thank you. I'll take some.
Okay, so that's it. It's pretty weak. We've been wanting to see that for 2 years now, since the onslaught on October the 8th. Like, we've seen the genocide over at least the last 18 months, if not longer. And Keir Starmer thinks he can, like, now the media's woken up to it. Israel's a pariah. It's unequivocal. The genocide scholars have confirmed it's a genocide. Now he's like, oh, we've kind of done nothing for a year, really. Just like a bit of sanctions here, condemn this, a little bit of virtue signaling. Say release the hostages and we'll recognize the state of Palestine. Are they going to do that? Well, that remains to be seen. We'll see how it goes. Starmer, you're not helping yourself. Comment below. Tell me your thoughts. Is Starmer going to recognize Palestine? Is there going to be a two-state solution? And is Israel going to play ball? I think it's very unlikely. So comment below and I'll see you next time.